I cannot find, if it's got wings, it will not get, and this is one of my nemesis right here. We have 9 million katydids down in Savannah, Georgia, and this is a fine example of one right here. But the mesh on the bag, we call it a 50 thread mesh. 50 threads to the inch, you know. And that's a full-grown katydid right there, cannot get in the bag. We keep about 84 trees in these big blue tubs. Some people were asking about, Darren was just talking about containers. We've got a bunch of trees that we tend to move around a lot. We're experimenting with a rental property for our citrus grove. 375 in the ground is about all that our property will hold. So we are experimenting with this is a 55-gallon plastic drum cut in half. Growing a full-grown tree. This photo is a couple of years old. These trees are now producing fruit, but that's a 6-foot bag right there. These are some more 6-foot bags on in-ground trees that you're looking at here. You know, besides replacing guitar strings, my second most unfavorite thing to do is mow the grass. The grass is a little closer around these trees right here. But these are our trees. We run them between the trees along the rows. We're kind of tight. I'm running it 10 feet. These rows right here are 12 feet wide. Now, I don't run 15-foot wide trees. I don't have a John Deere. Wish you did, but I got a golf cart. My golf cart with the boom down is 12 feet wide. So that's why I run 12 feet wide. These are my trees. Obviously, I have trees that do and some trees that do not have bags. And that's because I can only afford so many bags. And I tend to bag the trees that have the most isn't that awesome? I tend to bag the trees that have the most exotic fruit that I can sell for the most money. I'm in bars 5 nights a week, not because I drink that much, because I play guitar that much, and that is primarily who I sell to. I sell things like red limes, key limes, organic Persians, things that bartenders like, need, and want. You know, blood oranges, we sell that sort of thing. And those are what we put the bag on, because on those trees, we don't put any pesticides whatsoever. The roots we treat the same for all the trees. Everybody gets the same fertilizer. But nothing goes on the fruit in a bag tree, except water, a whole lot of water. I put these sticky pads all throughout, all throughout the orange grove. My neighbors spend a lot of money on the bug guys and the lawn guys there, and I tell them that they still have bugs. They don't believe me, and I show them these little sticky pads. It takes a yellow pad about 16 hours to get that kind of concentration of bugs on it. There's 9 million bugs down. We're not in a swamp, but we're pretty low land down there in Savannah, Georgia. It's another fine example of a katydid. If you're using bags, does anybody here use bags right now? Does anybody other using bags? In case you want to try, I bought a whole hassle of bags. Take one home with you. You can experiment with it. But I brought some 6-foot bags. You guys can take one home with you. But this is a 6-foot bag on a container. You guys that do container gardening with your trees, you see I've got a bungee cord going around the bottom of it. That bungee cord is not really for flying insects. It's for the squirrels. Flying insects have this curious thing. They hardly ever fly up. They fly vertical for maybe 2 seconds. And as high as that guy can get, that's about as high as he flies all day long. They fly horizontal. Squirrels, however, will crawl up underneath the net, chew on my trees, but not if I got a bungee cord. This is morning out at the orange grove. This big bag you see right up front and close, that is now an 8-foot bag. So when my tree I keep a 6-foot bag on the tree the first 2 years. Year 3, I just swap it out to 8-foot bags. I don't even worry about it, because if you don't, the tree will grow. Oh, it'll grow, and it'll even make good fruit. But then one day you're going to take that bag off for whatever reason. I hardly ever take the bags off, by the way. But you're going to take, and man, inside that thing you've got a tomato vine because it's all curled up. Because it's trying to grow inside the bag. Don't do that. You want to make sure you keep your bag. Now, having said that, everything that I grow, except for maybe 10 trees, is on a dwarfing rootstock. I use, what do I use? I use Flying Dragon or 942. Those are my two rootstocks I use. So an 8-foot bag, maybe a 10-foot bag, they make a 10-foot bag, is as big as I will ever need. That's the deer. And the deer eat everything. But if I have a bag, I don't have to worry about my tree. Our piece of property is out on this little island hammock out there on the south side of Savannah, Georgia. We've got a tidal creek on 3 sides of us. Thank God we do. That saved us during the freeze, during Christmas this past year. Man, we're sitting there in the house and 5 degrees. Our tide moves about 8 feet. And we had about a 5-degree swing. The tide saved us during the night. It really did. It was a great thing. These are some more bags on containers. I keep my containers on pallets. It's just easier to move them around when they're on pallets. My neighbor's a real nice guy. He's a construction guy. Bobcat. I bought the forks for the Bobcat. Moves them around. It works out real nice. That is a Hamlin. I think it's one of my lemons. But anyway, this is a sample of a piece of fruit inside that bag. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, I keep telling my clients, the bartenders, they just don't, but it's perfect. And that they hardly ever appreciate the fact until they see an ugly piece of fruit. But I mean, except for mites. Man, spider mites drive me crazy. That's the only thing that will live inside a bag. It's a mite. And if you get mice, then it's neem oil city. Every Sunday after church, it's neem oil. The whole place smells like neem oil. But we do that. Oh, the assassin bug and ash. Man, I wish I could blow that. But you ever watch them? You ever get to see when they're just chewing on a caterpillar? And one of my favorite little bug shots, because you can see the caterpillars have been chewing on my leaves, but he got one. Leaf-footed bugs, man, we have a lot of leaf-footed bugs down in Savannah, Georgia. That's a pretty good example of one. You know, they're about 3 inches long. And they got that proboscis and they go to that piece of fruit and they ruin that fruit for you. They don't get inside a bag. That's a 10-foot bag inside of covering up a 4-year-old tree right there. That tree is about as big as it's going to get. And I don't let that tree get any bigger than that because me and my guys, we've got a 6-foot tall ladder that we will get on to harvest the fruit. And that's as high off the ground as I get. That's it. Beyond that, I've got this real neat little battery-powered DeWalt thing. Just like that. That's as big as I let my trees get. I don't have the prettiest trees in the world, but I make a lot of fruit off my little 4- and 5-year-old trees. Leaf miners. If you get a bag, you put your tree in that bag, you will not have leaf miners. This is one of our, we have a lot of trees, obviously out in the ground, that do not have bags on them. My poor satsuma trees, God bless them, and that's a strong tree. If you got a satsuma tree, I don't think anything can kill a satsuma tree. And this is a typical example of leaf, especially during the month of July in Savannah, Georgia. It rains every day at 6 o'clock for about an hour. It does no good to put pesticides on those trees during the month of July. Leaf miners win. There's a green stink bug. We have a lot of those during July and August. Again, that bug is about 3/4 of an inch long. There's no way he's getting inside the bag. If you get bugs like a green stink bug might get inside the bag if you don't tie the bottom of the bag. Because during their larval stage, they crawl up out of the ground, they might get inside that bag. I've never gotten one inside mine. Most of my trees I do not cinch up around the bottom of the bags. And there's all my trees that are cinched up around the bottom of the bag. But you see, that's a 10-foot bag. That's a big bag. That bag is about this big. And those are, I think those are, might be red lines. But those trees, that's as big as I'm letting those trees get. And that bag, I've got a bag I'm going to show you in just a minute over here. 5 years, and they're still fully functional. They're getting kind of ugly. That bag there is only a couple years old. Eggs. This is one thing that they're on the outside of the bags. Nothing can get in the bag. But man, we get these. I think I got another one. Yeah. This is all the outside of the bag. I go along, and when we're spraying the trees, the conventional trees around, I blast the eggs. You know, I don't know what else to do. But they will build up on the outside of the bag. They cannot get in the bag. This is a picture I just took because I think it's a really nice looking. This is an Arctic frost. It's one of the little chain shop varieties we grow down in Savannah. But I mean, I took that photo because you've got a perfect piece of fruit with a perfect leaf. And you know, when you've got a few hundred trees out there and you're fighting every day to keep those things looking nice, because we're mostly farmers market and bars. And then farmers market and bars, it's got to be perfect or it doesn't sell. And I can't hardly give it away after that. That is what sells right there. Look at that. That's a whole, I get really excited. Whole bins full of perfect fruit. I mean, just beautiful, shiny, great color. I mean, these things, this is what you can expect. If these things are under, people ask me about pollination. I have never had any difficulty with pollination in the bags. That's me. That was supposed to be the first slide. Hey, if you need to get hold of me, if you want to come by, we do tours of the place every Friday at 1 o'clock. Or if you're in the neighborhood, just call me. If you're here during the day, we play music at night, and during the day I'm always at the Orange Grove. But that's me. That's where we're at. Oh, the dragon. We do the dragon thing because all the rootstocks are flying dragons. You know, that's our thing. The dragon. We're all about the dragon. But again, I know I keep harping about this. Given half a chance, I mean, I have come so close to killing so many trees, and given half a chance, they will just come back and live. Thank God. And when they come back and they're inside that bag, I get perfect. Oh, that's a night shot. You want to do something scary? Walk around your orange grove at night with a little flashlight, turn that thing on, you can see 9 million critters flying around through the air. There's like raccoons and what are those things? Armadillos. Like, oh my God, I'm scared to death of armadillos, but anyway, there. That's some dried fruit. We sell a lot of dried fruit to the bars. We got a test kitchen we do some of our stuff in. But I mean, I keep saying it over and over again. Inside that bag, nothing will get to your fruit except those mites. Got to manage those things. But if you can deal with those, that means no leaf miners. That means no psyllids. I'm concerned. I'm in Savannah, Georgia. I'm concerned about psyllids. I'm not scared to death yet. I'm not living down in, South Florida. But I am cognizant of their presence. I've got beetles and whiteflies. None of that inside a bag. That's another piece of fruit. You can tell I go crazy over beautiful fruit. Oh, some people ask that question now. So it's not a frost bag. Remember, this is a bug bag. It is not a frost. Yes, what?
No. What about ants in mealworm?
I'm a lucky man. And I hate to say it, I've never seen a mealybug. And I mean, we've got 375 trees. Never seen them. No around. So I don't even have to deal with that. Ants? I got 9 billion ants in our field. We use bifin. Bifin, B-I-F-E-N, a couple of different derivatives. We spray for the ants, so it'd be like 4 times a year. So it's not a frost bag, but the bag, in the event of a frost, when I get done, I want you to come in and grab this. Well, y'all are going to get back in. Water vapor will set on the surface of this because the water, the dew, is bigger than the mesh of the net. So it sits there. And it'll make frost right there. When it does that, now you're inside an igloo and you're not going to get quite so cold. Not a lot, but maybe 3 or 4 degrees. And you're not going to get any wind because you got this thin sheet of ice on the edge of that net. You're not going to get any wind.